Go Login is the best browser for multi-accounting. Go Login is anti-detect browser for creating and running multiple social media accounts.
Entries, correct? Okay. So again, let's recap. My first high risk entry was right up here. Okay, high risk entry. Why? In anticipation of the daily doing a daily reject daily, and because we are in 2 monthly sell zones. I was like, oh, there has to be something, right? If not here, then over here. Monthly left shoulder, monthly open close in around these 2 areas. If not there, over here. If not here, not here, because this is already tested. So if not here, then above. Right? So I know I already have these things mapped out, and this is just a high risk trade, right? So okay, let's assume that you missed this trade, or you took this trade and you're looking to stack, right? So what will you do? Very, very simple. Sell, buy, support, breaks, becomes resistance. This level is also MTF with the monthly. Man, I gotta stop speaking so loudly. I'm just so passionate about this stuff, bro, right? So I speak very loudly, like even louder than my normal speaking voice, and it just makes my throat sore. But anyway, daily, pause, bro. Daily, monthly. Okay, so we go daily. Now we've already entered that trade. We're all risk-free, happy, hallelujah, right? Yeah. Anyway, we now wait for a daily reject daily. Daily rejects daily. Okay, so this day has ended. This day has ended. So we're gonna place a line on the next day, because this is when the next day starts. So this day starts, opens here. I'm looking at the previous day. Oh look, daily reject daily. Let's go see what happened. Let's go look at the H4. H4, beautiful. We have ourselves the breakout that happens. Now the breakout happens during the next day, but remember what I told you about storylines? Remember what I told you guys? Recap real quick. Remember what I told you guys about the storylines, guys? We have the preferred and we have the alternative. The alternative, right? We have the preferred one, and alternatively, this could happen. Breakout in the coming days. So in this case, as a result of the daily reject daily, we never had any kind of H4 breakout, but we had the H4 breakout in the next day, in the coming days, right? In the next day. That's still considered a daily bearish storyline. So we'll say this, okay? We pick a little thing, a call out, and we'll say daily bearish storyline started here. We'll just point out this. Started. Again, I don't like to use the word confirmed because nothing's confirmed. It's just a speculation. Daily bearish storyline started. Means what? Means what? Play from H4/H4 MTF daily. Okay? Because you know, H4 alone, if there's a H4 with an MTF daily, that's even better, correct? Okay, so what happened here? I'm just gonna like whiz past this and tell you guys exactly what I did. So next day is very simple. We had the left shoulder, we had this entry, so I marked these 2 out. And then I went to the H1. And I noticed something on the H1. I noticed that we had another H1 right up here. So again, when I have more than 2 zones, I like to just pick the top 2 zones, because I know in myself, the reason why I do this is very simple. I know that if price touched both of these zones and it didn't exactly deliver, so I would be risk-free in here, and let's assume that I took a sell here, I would have taken a loss, right? So I would be risk-free in this because it's more than 50-70 pips. But if price were to not deliver, which it didn't deliver here, and come back up and touch this zone and then go off, I would be feeling really bad. You know, I'll be like, oh man, I missed the trade, blah blah. Okay, so this is what I did. Okay, so the first trade, first of all, why did I delete that? Okay, this was the H4. You can refine the H4 to a H1 if you wanted to. But let's say you didn't refine the H4 to the H1. Let's say you just had the H4 here and you took a sell trade. Absolutely, I believe you would have been stopped out. Yeah, 40 pips. Your stop loss is like here, right? So you would have been stopped out. Okay, so for me, what I did, I took 1, 2. These are the 2 zones that I personally picked. Okay, am I afraid that price is going to go without me? Not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. Because we're already in a daily bearish storyline. So any new H4 that forms, especially a H4 after a breakout, I can take that H4, right? Because we're dealing with H4s in the daily, right? We have a daily, we're just dealing with H4s. That's it, bro. Okay, so anyway, let me go back to the H1 and show you guys what I'm trying to talk about. Okay, so we have ourselves the H4, and then we have this as just a lonesome H1. So this is a H1 MTF with the H4. Okay, daily reject daily, H4 broke out. We've talked about that multiple times. So all I'm doing now, you could add like a what do you call this thing, bro? You can add a trend line confluence if you wish to do so, right? So for example, I don't know what I'm seeing right now. We could do something like that, right? So that's a trend line confluence. You're just adding another reason, another pretty solid reason if you ask me. You're just adding another pretty solid reason as to why you would want to take this area. That's all a trend line is, really. Again, hold on. There's more to it that I know, but I'm not sharing that right now. Anyway, we have that. That's the first reason. Okay, one reason you can enter here, and then price travels down, but it's it didn't actually deliver. No problem. We're still in the bullish storyline on the daily, right? Second area, daily reject daily, H4 breaks out. We have this first setup. It didn't exactly play to plan. It doesn't exactly last. Second area is this H1 here. This is the last possible area that it could go to, right? So I don't know, maybe if you want to do something like this, perhaps you're just connecting the resistances, by the way. If you're wondering, you can actually draw a trend line easier on a line chart. So if you were to do something like boom there, just like that. Okay, Charles Oliveira. Anyway, so yeah, that would have been your thing. So over here, and that would be your sort of confluence area. If you think, it doesn't touch Avi, okay, yeah, I guess it doesn't touch that, no problem. You want to pull it down, you want to do whatever you want to do, something. It's just a confluence, bro. Don't think too deeply about this stuff. Okay, maybe something like that, maybe, I don't know. That already cuts through the candle, so that's not very valid. But anyway, you get the point, right? So that would be my other area. Now you guys be wondering, okay, Avi, but then it closed oddly. It closed oddly here. It doesn't matter if it closed as a It doesn't matter if it closed as an Alabama closing or an inbred closure. It doesn't matter unless the inbred closure starts a new storyline, which it didn't do. Okay, so if we have a daily bearish storyline, so the first thing you need to understand in this setup, right? Every setup is very unique. The first thing you need to understand in this setup is that even if it were to be a daily bullish storyline, it's not going to be too wise for us to buy. Why? Think about this. Why is it, even if it closes a daily bullish storyline, let's say it was daily bearish and then it switched up in here to daily bullish, why wouldn't it be too wise for me to, place a buy? The answer to that question is because we are literally in a monthly bearish area. It's not too wise. Doesn't mean it can't break, doesn't mean it can't violate. It has done that before, but it's not too wise for us to look for daily buys when we're in a monthly sell zone. You see, these are the experienced, subjective thoughts that come into my mind when I'm teaching you guys these things that you guys may not like, but it's the truth. So I don't care whether you guys like it or not. That's how I learned it. Okay, so yeah, that would be your little thing. I don't think this would have been a good trend line. No, it wouldn't have been. Anyway, just find a confluence like that and you're good there. That one works. That one works pretty damn well. Okay, so that would be your second entry. Okay, so if we're looking at the daily, right, we're riding that daily train pretty damn well, right? So we entered this first sell in anticipation of a daily bearish storyline starting, and then once the daily bearish storyline actually started, we took our first entry here. It failed. Maybe we took a little loss too, who knows, I can't remember, but I'm almost certain I took this trade. And then it comes back up and we take the second trade. Now if price violates and breaks this entire thing with a body close, then yeah, of course, that's a, you know what I mean, you won't keep on looking. That wouldn't be low risk anymore. If you're entering from here, above, those are all high risk. Unless price comes up, touches this and does a daily reject daily, and then you want to take it after that, that's a different story, right? No pun intended. But here we're still within that setup, right? Because when a daily storyline starts, it means that a H4 has already broken. When the H4 has already broken, it means that they're giving you some zones over there. Once there's a breakout, there's always going to be zones, to play from, be it H1 or H4. But yeah, so that was that. And after that, even though it's daily and we're supposed to be entering from H4s, I like to pay more attention to daily zones in comparison to just purely H4 zones, right? So after this, I'm not just, H4. No. If I would have just be H4, I would have caught this trade here, things like that. I didn't catch that trade. What I caught was this one. Okay, I'll be straight up with you guys. What I caught was this trade right here. See this? This is a daily open close. And then for the daily open close, I don't trade very much, guys. I don't trade very much. From the daily open close, all I did was look for a H4 within that. So I went right here. And the reason I went right here is because, I'll tell you why. The reason I went right here is because of this bad boy right there. And then H1. So this is H4 inside daily. Okay? just like that. Bring that here. So the bottom line is the H4, the top is the H1 MTF with the H4. I just knew it was somewhere in this ballpark, and there was a trend line to match with it, right? So I just took it. I just freaking took it based on this. So again, let me rephrase that. This is a very simple trade. So you guys may be wondering like, huh? That's like, you know what I mean? What is that about? It's very simple. Daily bearish storyline. I should be entering straight off from high probability H4 areas. So a high probability H4 area could be a H4 MTF with a daily. It can be a H4 with a trend line confluence. Those are things that add on to the probability, correct? So in this case, it was a H4 MTF daily, correct? There's a daily in here, and then there's also a H4. Am I right? There's a daily, and there's a H4. And on top of that, the icing on the cake is that there was a trend line too. It's just a little icing on the cake right there. Who doesn't like icing on the cake? I don't. I don't like cake. First of all, I'm on a diet, but if I were to get cake, I don't like the icing too much, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's kind of foul. It's kind of vile. It's kind of too sweet for me. But yeah, that would be my entry. Okay, and I like to wait for the entire day after that. I just wait every day. I will look for a trade. It's not like, oh, that day, that H4 inside there, H4 into, no. Once I've entered that trade for the day, I leave it. I see what price does next. Because now you have to understand, I'm paying attention to daily bearish storyline, right? I'm paying attention to daily area, H4 areas for obstacles. Now this is a little bit of something that's a bit subjective when it comes to me personally. By my rule set, I should be worried about H4s being the cause for concern for my daily bearish setups, correct? Because daily bearish storyline, H4 entries, but also H4 obstacles. Same thing with weekly. But I've noticed, H4s don't really react that violently. And especially because we're coming from a monthly zone, I was like, okay, never mind. I'm just going to pay more attention to the dailies, right? So in this daily, you may be wondering, oh, Avi, what happened in this daily? Okay, let's go see. Daily reject, right? What are we looking for? If we're looking for a cause for concern, daily should reject the daily support and do a H4 bullish breakout. But no H4 bullish breakout in sight. Okay, what's the next one? So these are things that are running through my head. This one, yes, daily rejected indeed, but no H4 breakout, so it could just be a pullback. Next one here, let's see what happens in here. Daily reject daily, any H4 breakout, guys? Nah, no H4 breakout. Instead, what we did was we went back and we rejected what? This is a beautiful trade for me. Beautiful trade. We had two areas that we could be playing off of. One here, one in the left shoulder. All I did was, oh, this is a daily. That's a daily too. Mark both of them. So I went to this one. This is the first thing that's going to come up, right? So look, isn't this a beautiful trade, guys? Look, first entry from the daily, MTF monthly. Second entry, after the daily reject daily H4 breakout, I found that there's a H4, H1 MTF. Took a trade from there. Now I know we're in a full-fledged daily bearish storyline. Why? Because it's freaking H4 breakout. Okay? Once that happened, I'm paying attention more so to the daily MTF H4s because I prefer that. I don't like to just go, oh, because it's daily bearish, just H4 like a freaking machine gun, right? Shout out Machine Gun Kelly. And the LGBTQ, right? So look, daily. This is another daily in here. There's another daily in here. Who knows which one? I'm just going to look. Which one is this? So I'll teach you again. I don't like to go too advanced, bro. But I'll teach you the operation of time frames to lower your risk. When you have a bunch of zones, how do you lower your risk? I'll teach you that in the future. It's literally in the next video, I think. Yeah, so don't worry about it, right? So in here, right, daily reject. Before the daily reject daily, I'll just enter. So inside this daily, I'm gonna pay attention. Okay, what do we got in here, bro? What do we have? Ooh, inside this daily, what do we have, guys? Open close. Right? That's not really a refinement because our daily is up here. There's a H4. Okay, is there a H1? I asked that question. Right, I go in here and I see. I'm like, there isn't a H1. It's okay. I'll just take it from the daily because there's a zone over there. That's what I did. I will be honest with you. That's what I did. And then you can add like, trend lines. I don't even know what trend line there was, but you can add a trend line in there, right? Whatever the case may be, you can add a trend line in here, And again, if you're ever in doubt, right? Just don't freaking take the trade. You know what I mean? Just don't take the trade if you're in doubt. So this was one, and then I guess you could do something like this. No, you can't. I guess you could do something like this. No, you can't either. So I don't know whether I actually legitimately took this particular trade. I know I took these other two, but this one would have been another one that I would have probably taken. This looks like an RV trade to take, right? We have ourselves the left shoulder, there's a H4, right? And you're just riding the train of the daily bearish, because you have to understand monthly hasn't turned bearish yet, but weekly is bearish, daily is bearish. So what exactly are you so worried about? You know, all the pullbacks are opportunities for you to take the trade. That's how I look at it. I think I may have seen like a daily or something, man. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea what exactly it was. I don't think it could be this. No, definitely not. But anyway, I took that trade. I'm pretty sure of it. You guys can look at my screenshots, man. I don't lie about these things. Unless I'm 100% I didn't take it, then I'll tell you it's just a hindsight trade. But this looks like a Avi trade. There's a daily, left shoulder, you know, things like that. And then we refine it to the H4, refine it to the H1, but this isn't in the daily, right? So I just want to make that very clear to you guys. This is not a H4, H1 MTF. I would have taken it purely because of this daily. That's there, that's sitting there. And then let's say you missed that trade, right? So let's assume I didn't take this trade, guys. Let's assume I never took this trade. Okay, no problem. Maybe I didn't. So how do I deal with this? Oh man, I missed that trade, man. I wasn't too sure. I missed that trade. Don't worry. Daily, reject daily. Again, it happened. And again, as a result of that daily reject daily, we have a new daily resistance. We look at the H4, anything interesting on the H4, right? Oh, new daily resistance. Anything interesting? This is once that daily rejected daily. Oh man, I missed this trade, bro. It was so beautiful. I missed it. Fret not, my friends. Okay, daily reject daily. Let's see, what if we created out of this? Oh, okay, my rules say I don't really take SPR. Okay, fine, no problem. We have one zone here, right? We have another one up here, right? Depends whatever you want to take. We have these options here. Again, if you have multiple ones, maybe you missed this one too. Who knows? I'm just telling you, these are the options that you could have taken. Okay, so maybe you missed that one too. Okay, no problem. You're still too deep. You're still 2 trades deep, bro. In a storyline, you know, that is powerful. It's still going in your direction, right? So again, over here we have the daily reject daily. See, this one doesn't reject. It's a break, right? The next one's up here. This one doesn't reject. Oh, this one does reject. Boom, we reject. Okay, we look at the next day. Anything interesting that we can enter off of? Let's see if I can give you guys my signature setup. Not really my signature setup, but anyway. Daily reject daily. We look at what happened on the H4, right? Looking at what happened on the H4. Okay. New day starts here. Previous day, daily reject daily. We have one area to enter from. We have another area and another area. So this would be the other opportunity for you to enter from. Again, you say, Avi, that's too tough for me to enter from that. I don't have the experience to enter from that, or you know, it just doesn't seem likely for me to enter that. Okay, you didn't enter that, no problem. Only take trades that you're confident in. That's my entire thing. And yeah, I don't think I actually took this trade, guys. Anyway, this trade is not a trade that I would have taken. Doesn't look like it would have been a trade that I would have taken. But yeah, anyway, you're too deep. 1, 2, and 3 if you caught this, which I did. So yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm just giving you guys opportunities or examples of how this would have played out. Over here, nothing really much at all. And then you would want to be worried about these areas. So around these areas, you would not be entering anything too much. You would not really be wanting to enter too much in here, simply because we are already weeklies in here, and you know, it's kind of finicky, right? Because we are weekly bearish, so we need to worry about the weekly, we need to worry about the daily, right, for the obstacles. For the daily, okay, fine, you don't want to pay too much attention to the H4s, no problem, but you should be wary about the dailies, you should be wary about the weeklies. Be wary of it, right? Be wary of it and just watch out. That's all I'm trying to say. So even if you look over here, right, if you want to know how I play, we have this weekly zone, weekly reject weekly, we look for a daily, but there's no daily breakout. For there to be a daily breakout, what does price need to do? You need to break this. Price didn't do that. You see? Price didn't do weekly reject weekly and then the break. So why are you so worried about things? You know? And yeah, it's just another opportunity for you to stack your trades however you wish to do so. You know? Price over here didn't play, price over here didn't play, price over here didn't play. Yeah, it is what it is. Price over here played though. Right? And anyway, like I said, we're in a weekly bearish storyline. You're gonna pay most of your attention to the daily, you're gonna pay most of your attention to the weekly. Now this is a little bit of a teaser into the next video, right? Into the operation of time frames. When you're dealing with, for example, a weekly bearish time frame, within the weekly bearish time frame, you guys are aware that we play from dailies, correct? So weekly bearish time frame, we play from daily resistance, correct? Sometimes there are so many daily resistances. Sometimes the daily resistances have so many H4s and H1s. So what we like to do, which is exactly what I just showed you. We're in weekly, right? We're in weekly. What I just showed you is what we're going to talk about in the next video. What I showed you was inside the weekly, we play from dailies, but there's so many here, this top one, up here. We will mark them and see which one we get the daily rejection from. Then that's the daily where we could say, oh, okay, the storyline has started. We can play from that. That may be where the weekly storyline continues. This was the retracement. I don't know where it's going to stop. Oh, but it did reject here. Oh, did it break out? Yes, it broke out. So now we have the daily in synchronization with, or in sync with, the weekly. That's probably where the turn is going to happen. That's where it did happen, right? So that's what I mean by the operation of time frames. You will notice when you only have 1 or 2 time frames that are bearish, for example, let's assume you have the monthly and the weekly bearish, but you see daily is still buying. That's because daily is buying to a sell point. Once daily buys that sell point and daily storyline turns bearish, adios amigos. Spanish, bro. Uno, dos, tres. You know what I mean? So, vámonos. You see what I'm trying to say, bro? I'm sick with Spanish, bro. I'm insane, bro. Anyway, see, that's it, man. Just a little bit of a teaser into the operation of time frames. As I said, when you see price buying, even though like your high, okay, so let's say you see your daily buying, even though your weekly monthly is bearish, that means your daily is retracing to a sell point, and you want to pay attention to where your daily bearish storyline starts. That's probably where your weekly is, and your monthly is going to start continuing downside. You see, isn't that insane? That's actually how it works, by the way. Most of the time, that's how it works. As again, nothing's confirmed, but that's how it works most of the time. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. Before we go, oh no, I hope I didn't mess up anything. But before we go, I just want you guys to know the summarization of this video, which is how to deal with the inbred closings. Which to understand if we're still in that storyline is to ignore and watch it play out. If let's say in this wick, see we had that H1 that saved us. Let's say there wasn't any H1, nothing in here. You can probably speculate that you shouldn't be forcing any sells. It will probably buy up. But in this case, we're still in the daily bearish, and we have that H1 left behind inside that H4, so it's still considered bearish, and we can still take it and ignore the fact that price broke up above. Okay, and besides that, yeah, we just elaborated on the storyline. I hope you guys understood it. I gave you guys example the 2 ways that a storyline can be confirmed. One is, let's say weekly reject weekly, daily breaks out as a result of the weekly rejection. I want that drilled into you guys, right? That's the first way, the preferred way. Second way is weekly reject weekly, daily doesn't do much because of the rejection, but along the second week, right? So weekly reject weekly, that's the first week. Second week, daily breaks out in favor of the weekly bearish storyline. That's the alternative way. Then I showed you guys 2 setups. First setup is in line with the storyline. So let's say you have daily reject daily, and H4 does a bearish breakout, then you're going to look for H4s. Maybe if you like H4 MTF with the daily, right? So daily reject daily, H4 bearish breakout, daily bearish storyline, correct? So you're entering from the H4s. Or weekly reject weekly, daily bearish breakout. So you're looking at dailies to look for entries from. There you go, daily H4 H1. Okay, that's the preferred way. That's the lower risk, medium risk way. Then you have the higher risk way. The higher risk way is when you have your weekly reject weekly, and daily just creates just a new daily. That's it, like this one right here, for example, right? Or let's say here was daily reject daily, and it just creates a new daily resistance. That just that's it, enough, finish, and it's just done that, right? Without the breakout, that would be your medium to higher risk. In fact, it's more higher risk because you can't say that rejection of the storyline actually started. You see? So yeah, man, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Aside from that, right, if you look at this, just giving you an example, right, if monthly reject monthly, and then we had like a monthly breakout, so like if we were to look at this and that broke out on the weekly, right, monthly reject monthly, weekly breakout, we can say, oh, monthly bullish storyline. So if monthly bullish storyline, we'll be looking for what? Monthly and weekly to be our obstacles, weekly to be our obstacles. But if there's a monthly, of course we need to pay attention to that, right? So for right now, we have weekly reject weekly, daily bullish breakout, right? We play from weekly daily. Daily MTF weekly will be the strongest. Exhibit A. Okay, so yeah, hope you guys appreciated this video, man. Yeah, pay attention for some bulls, I guess. Pay attention for a little bit of retracements, maybe around here. And see, yeah, if price comes up here, weekly reject weekly, daily bearish breakout, something like that, we can stack sells. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Hope you guys took something away from this video, man. Peace out.
GoLogin is the best browser for multi-accounting. GoLogin is anti-detect browser for creating and running multiple social media accounts. Go Login is the best browser for multi-accounting. Go Login is anti-detect browser for creating and running multiple social media accounts.